beautiful children under our plan, they will get a larger tax refund to help them pay their bills. They'll receive a tax refund this year of $3,000. You do very well. We're very proud of you, and it is indeed a beautiful church. I got to see a very, very nice picture. We'll have to get there someday soon. Thank you. Come on in. Please, please.
To God be the glory. Thank you, President Trump, for inviting us here. On behalf of the Benjamin family and, of course, Richmond, Virginia, we represent a cadre of many families across the nation. African-American families, urban communities, and families all across need this for change. And it's time that we recognize that our president is making good on his promises. Thank you, Mr. President. God bless you, and we'll continue to keep praying for you and your team as you move forward and forge ahead. America. God bless you.
He can be my minister anytime. The Howard family lives in Tenino, Washington. Machine Service Company, and Emily takes care of their 4 beautiful children. They're currently in the 15% bracket and pay $2,500 in taxes. Our plan will totally wipe out their tax bill, and they might even get a refund of substantially more than. Introduce them. Come on up.
I'm going to speak for us today. We are absolutely blessed to be here. So thank you, Mr. President. It's our joy to stand before you guys. And this means to us as a family is that we will be able to pour out into our community, whatever that looks like, giving away to families that are in need or setting them up for success in any way that whatever God has planned for our family. I think that is our goal, and we are blessed to have such good steward he is of our country. So thank you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you all. It's critically important for Congress to quickly pass these historic tax, and that's going to take place, I think, even before the media. I use the word media. Do you notice? As opposed to fake news media, I don't say. Because today is a very important. We want everybody to be covered very accurately. So I'm excited to announce that Americans will see lower taxes and bigger beginning in February, just 2 short months from now. Okay? Just got that. We just got that. 55. A Democrat launched a historic effort to pass sweeping top-to-bottom tax cuts. A half a century later, we're reminded that lowering taxes is neither a Republican or Democrat idea, but an American principle and an American idea. The goal of my American to know the dignity of work, the pride of a paycheck, and the satisfaction of a job well done. We want people to love waking up in the morning and going to work just with that incredible enthusiasm that we have in this country. And that's what we're going to be doing. Happening. Today we stand on the verge of a new economic miracle. Our economy has already surged to 3% growth, far ahead of schedule, by the way, far, far ahead, in each of the last 2 quarters. And if we didn't have the hurricanes, we could have hit 4 last quarter. 4. Well, 2 years ago when I started the campaign, and even my first month in office, that was an unthinkable number. And I'll tell you what, it's going to go higher than that. We've created 2.2 million jobs since the election. Unemployment, the unemployment rate in the manufacturing business is the lowest in recorded history. Consumer confidence is a 17-point high. Pensions and retirement accounts are soaring as the stock market hits 85. And if Congress sends me a tax reform, this is only a small beginning to the incredible things that our people will achieve over a very short period of time, and the tremendous heights that we will reach economically and so many other ways in our country every day. Draw us closer. I mean, we are so close right now, so close. In fact, almost, I don't want to talk about it. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it. The cynical voices that opposed tax cuts grow smaller and weaker, and the American people grow stronger. I heard one of our say, this is for the rich. They had no idea. They didn't even see the final bill. I didn't see the final bill. This is for the people of middle income. This is for companies that are going to create jobs. This is for very, very special people, the great people of America. Working Americans know that the future of this nation will never belong to those who say you can't. It will always belong to the American people who will say, we will. It belongs to people like the Glicks, the Kovacs, the Benjamins, the Howards, and the millions of Americans just like them across our nation who pour out their hearts and souls every single day to take care of their families and the country they love and that we love. We are going to have a country that celebrates hard-working, great people. You're being celebrated again. Remember that, because you were a little bit forgotten. We have caught the forgotten people. Somebody else called me and everybody else the deplorables. Have you ever heard that term? Right? We're proud to be the deplorables. Well, we're going to make our tax system work for you again. We're going to make our economy work for you again. And we are going to make the American dream. And that's the real dream. That will be the dream that you want for your children and your grandchildren. We need your help to get Congress across that finish line. We'll have very little Democrat support, probably none. And that's purely for political reasons. They like it a lot, and they can't say it. They don't like what's happening, but they can't say it. If you make your voices heard, this moment will be forever remembered as a great new beginning, the dawn of a brilliant American future, shining with patriotism, prosperity, and pride. With your help, we will bring back our jobs, our wealth as a country. And for every citizen across this beautiful land, we will bring back our great American dreams. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Gloria Borger, as we stay on these pictures, I just want to begin with you, our chief political analyst here, and we'll get into the substance of the tax deal and the politics of this. But I mean, I think it's important just to note how powerful you have, the moments when the president would step away and allow ordinary Americans to speak personally about how this new tax deal would help them.
Right, and this is something that presidents have always done. And I think it's a good idea because what it does, public here, real people with real families, and here's how much they're going to save on a tax bill. It's a very good way to sell it. You're not bringing corporate titans up there to say their corporate taxes are going to be reduced substantially. What you're doing is you're bringing families what they're going to do with the extra money. And of course, it's very touching when one of those families says, look, you know, we're going to take this money and we're going to give it away to help other people, particularly at this season. So, you know, this is not a new technique, but it's an effective one.
I agree with Gloria. I thought that was a powerful moment, bringing up those families. You know, it's been 2 years I've been working with Donald Trump on this, and, you know, we are so close to the finish line. It is true that a lot of families are going to save money on their taxes, but look, the bigger picture here is this is about growing the economy. As Trump was speaking, I was looking at the bottom of the CNN screen and looking at what's happening at the stock market. It's an amazing story, and the market just keeps going up and up. It really wants this tax cut. Gloria's right. Businesses want this. Their employers, and I think it'll be a powerful stimulus to the bill. One other quick thing, Brooke, is that he mentioned, you know, we are growing at now 3 to 3.5%, and I do think if we get this tax cut passed, we could potentially get 4% growth next year, which we haven't had that in a long, long time. So
here's the but. That being, sorry,
there is a but.
There's a but.
Come on, don't spoil the money,
Ronna is part of the conversation. Listen, Gloria said it. He could have brought corporate titans up there to have some warm and fuzzy story about how they're going to save all kinds of money with the corporate tax rate, you know, down to 21%. So there's that. Also, though, with this new deal between the House and the Senate, they're talking about this, you know, individual top rate going down to 37%. So the rich.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I'll, you know, just to be contrarian here, I'll agree for a minute with Gloria and Stephen that it was a great moment in PR.
Yeah,
but
right.
It doesn't change the fact that this is really about corporate tax rates. And, you know, I was really struck by the president likening himself once again to the point that tax cuts are a bipartisan thing. They've been done by Democrats and Republicans. That's very true. What's also true is that in the last 20 years, each time they've been done, either by a Democratic administration or a Republican one, they have not created Main Street growth. They will not do that this time. And so I have to say, I think this is one of the more cynical.
The question still remains, and you guys are able to answer this better than I am, which is, why do you need a tax cut? If the economy is so booming, why does the economy need to be stimulated?
And Gloria, you've hit the nail on the head. It doesn't. And a lot of people, in fact, I was just talking to a major people are very worried this is going to create more of an asset bubble than we already have. We already know Wall Street and Main Street are totally disconnected. Folks are worried that we're going to see a market correction in the coming year. Now, whether it comes before or after the midterms will be very interesting. But this is all about giving corporations just a little more money to give back to the top shareholders and hopefully push the president and the Republican Party past the spring midterm elections with this sort of mythology that, hey, what's good for Wall Street is good for Main Street. It's all going to end in tears, believe me.
Well, I hope
ahead,
not.
Stephen.
I mean, look, and so far you got to give Trump credit. I mean, the market is boomed since
Not
he's
because
come
of
in.
him.
A lot of Rada's friends, you know, used to say, "Oh, gee, there's no way." And I confronted this so many times, Brooke, on the campaign trail on this station, debating a lot of liberal economists said it's impossible. We can't get 3% growth. It's not conceivable we could do that. Well, we have 3 to 3.5% growth now. Question about why do this is because we want the economy to grow even faster. And I would make one of the points I made. I was on Capitol Hill all day talking to a lot of Republican lawmakers. I said, look, if you don't pass this tax cut, a lot of this anticipatory effect of this tax cut will go away and we'll see the economy shrink. But in my opinion, look, we could, and that's going to, there are a lot of areas in this country that haven't seen the growth. Places like, I was in West Virginia last week, and places like Kentucky and Michigan, Ohio, they don't think the economy is growing too fast.
It is the most disingenuous thing in the world to say that boosting stock prices, and by the way, 80% of stocks are owned by the top 20% of the boosting stock prices is the same as creating jobs in Kentucky. Not going to happen. Two things are different.
But you keep making that point. This is really important. There are 55 million Americans, Ronna, 55 million Americans who have 401k plans. There are 35 million Americans who have corporate, pension plans. There are another that's not. I mean, since when does the Democratic Party become so anti-business? This is a pro-business